Welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here. This one's kind of interesting because I didn't find a whole lot of video games actually this week. It's been pretty dry out there. I haven't really seen a whole lot in the stores, mostly just super common titles that are way overpriced. Just really not a lot out there. I don't know if the competition's getting worse or if it's just the fact that maybe people aren't donating stuff right now. As far as the retro video game things go, maybe people have caught on and they're trying to sell their stuff locally, although I haven't really seen an increase in ads or anything like that lately. But honestly, it's just been really difficult out there. Kind of discouraging actually, just because it is quite time consuming to get out there and look for stuff. But that's the way it goes sometimes, and you got to take it the way it comes sometimes. So, you know, I'll put up with that for a little while here, and hopefully I'll come home with some more interesting stuff in the future. Now, that being said, I did actually find a few interesting things, but a lot of this is not really game related, which is what I'm going to get into here. This is probably something that I found, and I'm trying to remember now, it's so long ago that I found some of these items, so I can't remember exactly what order or day I got them on. But, you know, I found this probably earlier on in the week since my latest pickup video, and that is, this one's a Marvel Avengers Thor hammer. Basically it's like a light, and it looks like a crack in the wall kind of thing behind it, and you can put that sticker up on your wall. Basically looks like the hammer's coming out of the wall. Pretty cool. Anyways, like 3D deco is what they call these. Pretty neat. I actually picked up other ones which I'm going to be selling at the show that's coming up this weekend in Scarborough, the collectibles show. So I'm going to put those other ones there. I didn't bother to bring them down into the retro dungeon. This one I think I'm going to hold on to. The other ones that I have are actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. There's 3 of them, and the only one that's missing from that, or the one that's missing from the 3, the 4th one that's missing, is Michelangelo. So Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, I have those 3. So those are going to be at the trade show. Pretty cool. I paid $8 each for them, but I think online these are probably going for upwards of like $40 kind of thing. I don't know if that's what they're really valued at. I'm pretty sure if you bought them retail, they're probably around 30, but you know, eBay prices sometimes on these kind of things. Still pretty cool nonetheless. This won't stay boxed or anything like that. This is definitely going to go on my walls when I actually reorganize my retro dungeon, because I am planning on putting in more full shelves rather than the hanging shelves that I have right now. They're just not going to suit my needs as far as my collection goes. So once that's all done, this is going to go up on the wall. Super cool addition, I think, for decoing the place anyways. Then let's see here, at a Goodwill, totally skunked one day on games, but I did find, and these were actually wrapped together, a Kinect sensor bar with, for some reason, a pair of speakers that no one has ever used. The speakers, let's see here, I don't even know what brand they are. They look very, very generic kind of thing, just for a computer or something like that, but maybe I can find a use out of those. Not really what I was interested in. This is what I was more interested in, is the Kinect sensor. In total, for all of it, was $10, so I haven't tested this out, though I don't see why it wouldn't work. Kinect's not one of my favorite things on the planet, that's for sure, but I already have sensor bar and everything like that. Just for $10, I figured I had to walk out with something, and I figured not too bad. I should be able to flip it. The only downside to this is that I didn't find the power supply and stuff that goes with this. So it's just this, you know, like proprietary kind of connector. That's not actually a USB thing on the end, I'm fairly certain. I'm pretty sure that all models of this needed to be plugged in with an alternate adapter or something like that, if I can remember that correctly. At least the one that I have does, so this one probably is missing that as well, which is kind of a bummer because it's sort of required to use that thing. Hopefully I could find a replacement cheaply though. that would be really wicked. Like I said though, for the speakers and that, I paid $10. I think I could probably use that at my place of work though, because I do have computers there that don't have any sound right now. So those might be pretty cool for that. Moving on, let's see here. Oh, this was kind of cool. I found this at a Goodwill, which is not something I really collect for. I had these back in the day. I actually have this one, I'm fairly certain. I'm trying to remember just because I did have this when I was a kid, but I can't remember if it's something that survived my youth kind of thing. And I do have a whole bunch of G.I. Joes and stuff like that in a bag or a bin out of my garage right now, which is basically just sitting there waiting for my son to grow up so that he can be old enough to play with them. And I saw this and I just couldn't leave it behind. It is the Hiss Tank. This is 1983 right here, if you don't know that. And this one here is pretty beat up actually. It's not in great shape. Like one of the pegs here is broken off and there's like tape and stuff on it. It's in otherwise okay shape, but the pegs and stuff on this turret part or whatever you like to call it that usually keep it in here and like locked in have been popped off and stuff like that. So not in the world's greatest shape, but you can see what I paid for it there, $2. So pretty cool right there. I'll put it with the other stuff and clean it up obviously because it's really dirty, but really neat there because I did have this, and this brings back a lot of memories. This year is, you know, the 80s at its finest kind of thing, G.I. Joe style. So I'll be able to play with that in the future, and that's pretty neat as well. Moving on from there, I walked into a Talese and walked out with one item. $2 for this right here. This is a Game Boy Advance SP charger, which I do have SPs that didn't have chargers, and I did actually order a generic one off of eBay a while back, and so I can actually replace that with this here, so that's pretty cool all around. Moving on from there, I picked up, this is kind of an interesting find actually. I saw this one day and it was sitting on the shelf and I was just like not going to pick up because it was a sports title or whatever, and for some reason I decided to reconsider that actually, and I went back to the store and it wasn't there the next time I went around, so I figured, oh, somebody must have picked it up, which was kind of a bummer because it's somewhat valuable for some reason. I've already recased this, and I did actually resurface this because it was in really horrible shape when I found it, but I got home and for some reason I just got the idea in my head to look this up and see, you know, what it was worth, and I don't really know why, because normally I wouldn't look up soccer titles and really care that much, but it's International Superstar Soccer Pro 98 by Konami. So for some reason, I don't know if this is rare or something, but when I looked this up and it was going in this condition, like just, you know, case and ever artwork and stuff like that, was going for around $20 at least, and I thought that was kind of strange just for a soccer game. So you guys can tell me what you think about it. Now you can kind of see my resurfacing job on it, but it did turn out decently well. Like, I didn't really want to grind it down too much, so I didn't go too nuts on it. You can really tell that it's been resurfaced though, but still, nonetheless, it wasn't going to play in the condition that I got it in, and I totally re-cased it because the case on it was just totally beat up. But for that I paid $2, so thought definitely worth, you know, trying it out for $2. I tested it, the game worked perfectly fine, so really happy with that. The next one here I found, and again this was a solo find I found at a Value Village, and I believe I already have this in my collection, so this is just basically going to be for trade, and it definitely needs to be recased or whatever, but it's Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation. This is Enter Electro. That's pretty cool. So this is not based on like the movies and things like that. This is its own title by itself kind of thing. There was a Spider-Man game as well before this, obviously, because this is Spider-Man 2, but pretty cool nonetheless. And for that one there I paid $2.99, which is super sweet deal for this game. And there it is there. It's not in the world's greatest shape. The case is pretty beat up, but the disc is livable. It just has a lot of fingerprints and dust and stuff on it, so I'll clean that up and we'll see how that goes, but it looks like it should work and everything like that, so that's pretty awesome. Once I clean it up, pretty good to go. And then moving on, I picked this up at the Goodwill the other day, and the reason why I picked this up actually is I saw this, and I'm trying to remember which YouTubers. I watch a ton of videos, and this was a while back that I saw this, but I think this might have been Metal Jesus Rocks like hidden gem on the Wii. If it wasn't, it was somebody's games that you had to check out kind of idea. And you know, I never really saw this title before that, so I thought I would pick it up. It's a Konami title, and it's Tornado Outbreak, and that's also complete as well, so that's pretty cool. And the disc is fingerprinty again. Someone got their fingerprints all over the games that I've been picking up lately, and it wasn't me. So that's that. And for that I paid $3. So pretty cool find right there. Basically this game is sort of reminds me of Katamari Damacy for some reason, except for basically the way that it works is as you're crushing buildings and stuff like that, your tornado gets bigger and bigger, and you can crush bigger and bigger items, and then there's boss battles and all this kind of stuff in it. So it's a pretty neat title, and it's not without its flaws or anything like that, but still cool nonetheless. And for $3 I figured why not on that. Moving on, I don't really have any more video game stuff actually, but just some interesting stuff that I wanted to show you here. This is something that I picked up, and I basically just bought it because it was a couple bucks. Is a Star Wars figurine. It's the Clone Wars, and this is a Super Battle Droid. So it's, you know, complete and everything like that, but somebody has taken tape and kind of put it back together sort of thing, but I'm not really collecting it for the sense of keeping it in this box. The box is beat up anyways. Still a cool figure nonetheless, so I thought I would buy that, and I mean it's only $2, so you know, no big loss there, you know, financially kind of thing for that. It's still pretty cool. Don't really know what I'm going to do with it necessarily, but I figured it's kind of neat. And then moving on from there, I actually picked up something that, well, it is video game related. It's an interesting item to say the least, and I cannot find a whole lot about this on the internet. So if you have one of these, let me know how it works for you. I'm going to have a problem getting it going because it's missing its power supplies, but I'm sure I can replace them if I could just find out. And that's what I was doing the research for. I was trying to find out what the voltage. I know the voltage is 9 volt, but I don't know how many amps this thing requires for the power supply. So I mean, I could find like a generic 9 volt power supply. I see them all the time in thrift shops and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure, like, you know, what the ampage needs to be on it for it to work properly. So we'll have to see with that. But it's called Game Ease, and it's a wireless connection for your game console to your television. So I think basically the way that this thing works is that you plug this into your console, you plug the other part into your television, and then you can have a wireless, say, PlayStation 1 or Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo or something like that. So I thought it was kind of neat. It works off 2.4 gigahertz, so I'm thinking there probably isn't going to be any problem with like lag and stuff like that. And it says on here actually somewhere, and I can't remember where it is. It says something about like, you know, there's no lag or whatever. I'm trying to find that now. Anyways, not really that important, but it is on there somewhere. They actually use those words. So, oh yeah, no lag time during gameplay is one of the claims on it. So I don't really know a whole lot about it. The only one I've ever seen before, someone had listed on Kijiji, not even in my city, just when I was doing my search. That's the only thing I could find for this, and they wanted $20 for the one they had, and theirs was fairly yellowed, I think. So this one's going to be in pretty decent shape. It's not in perfect shape or anything like that. So what it came with was a power supply, which is like not even close to the right thing. So I hope nobody used this on it, because it says the output on this one's 32 volts. So if somebody plugged this HP power supply into one of these and plugged it in, it might have actually fried one. I don't know. Hopefully they never use that with it, and just someone at Goodwill kind of chucked that in there thinking you know, it belonged to it or something. But this is what they look like. Anyways, there's two of them, and just grab these out. No manual or anything like that, so I'm gonna have to figure this out. But there's two of them. This is the one here is the sender type one, and this is the transmitter. So this is, I guess, the receiver rather, and this is the transmitter. And what you do is you plug in your consoles into that, and there's the power that needs to go in. So it says 9 volt. I know that. And you can turn it on and off, and have channel select on that one. Same thing with this one, so I don't really know, like, it's odd because one's a transmitter, one's a receiver, but they're all, you know, they're all identical, so kind of strange. But anyways, it says it should be able to work from like 30 feet away, so I don't know why you'd ever need to be able to do that, but it's still pretty neat. That's the whole thing there. For that I paid $8, but I really just want to check it out, so hopefully I can find, like I said, the power supplies that go with that, and just see how that goes. I don't really know what the practicality of this would be, but still pretty cool nonetheless, and like I said, nothing I've ever seen before, so why not give it a shot. And then the last item, which is something that I've sort of been investigating doing a series around on my channel, not just having my videos just pickup videos. I wanted to take a look actually at comic book ads from the 90s and the retro games that, you know, I collect and things like that. And so this one here is sort of going to be part of that, which is the Incredible Hulk. This is this is issue number 379. So there's some interesting ads in this one. I'm not going to reveal that right now because I would do that in an episode when I actually decide to create one, but still cool nonetheless. And for that I paid 99 cents at a Value Village. It's probably not worth more than that, but that's not really why I'm getting these. I'm getting them for my series, not for their value. So still cool nonetheless. I'm sure it's worth more than $1 anyways, and there you go. So that's everything that I picked up lately. Like I said, not a whole lot of video game related things. I mean, there's a few games in there, but a lot of deco kind of stuff, that gameies thing, kind of interesting. But like I was saying before, though, really dry out there lately. Hard to find things, and that's just the way that it goes sometimes. So, you know, thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.